Well, hey there, my friend. Welcome to the Creative Shop Talk podcast. Before we dive into our three-part series of our visibility strategies, I wanted to share with you something kind of cool. So, simplifying retail marketing is kind of my superpower. I love doing that for retailers because without marketing, we don't have customers knowing about us. If we don't have customers knowing about us, they won't come in the door. If they don't come in the door, they won't buy. Once they're in our stores, we have to have the store set up to sell to them. Once that we sell to them, we want to wow and delight them and have them come back again and again. That is what we call the retailer's ecosystem, marketing ecosystem. And that is what I'm excited to share is that we are doing my very popular 6-week Sales Accelerator workshop again. So over 6 weeks, once a week, you and I and a small group of people will get together and we're going to simplify the steps to help you get better known in your community. We're going to work individually. We're going to work on what you need because everybody's needs are different when it comes to marketing. There's a formula, but we're all unique, right? So we're going to work on how you get better known. I'm going to teach you the ways that will help you feel good about calling customers into the shop. So getting more foot traffic into the shop and maybe onto online. If you're an online retailer, we're going to talk about how to keep their interest and nurture our customers. Like, how do we stay top of mind? How do we remind them we exist? What are the things that we need to do or we could do? And we're also going to talk about what happens when they come in the door. How do we serve them? How do we encourage more sales? How do we do it without being sleazy? Because none of us like that. And how do we turn those customers into raving fans so they come back again and again? I love to call it wow and delighting. And how do we make them, want to be allies and believers and spread the word? That is all the marketing funnel that we teach inside of the 6-week Sales Accelerator workshop. So it's more than just posting regularly on social media. That's what people say. So if you need a little bit of help, you want to demystify the marketing funnel, which is sounds so boring, but it's really kind of fun. If you want to be part of this workshop, which is, and I promise you, it's one of my most favorite thing to teach. It's one of the workshops that retailers come back again and again. I've had many retailers take it every time I offer it. So I would like to let you know that we are running that. It starts on April 24th, 2025, depending on when you're listening to this, but don't wait to book. So as a reward for action takers and early action takers, I am going to be giving anybody who books before the end of March 2025 a free $500 marketing audit. And then we can do that before we jump in to the accelerator, or we can do it after, like once you take the class and do all the things, and then I can go in and zhuzh it up for you or share with you my thoughts. So it is called a forward-facing marketing audit, and I am going to be giving that away for free if you join us before March 25th. So you can find out all the information by jumping over to wendybatten.com. You'll see a tab that says Work With Me. We have all our programs listed there, and you're looking for the 6-week Sales Accelerator program. We'll also have that here, of course, in the show notes for you. So wherever you're listening to this, we will have the show notes. I love teaching this. I love helping retailers get found and have customers come in the door and have customers buy. It's just a feel-good thing for you. So we want to really make sure that you're doing marketing strategy this year, not just throwing spaghetti at the wall. So that's what we'll be doing together. So we are also doing this 3-part visibility series so you can get started, get warmed up, understand how it's possible for you to get known, not just in your community, but beyond. We want you to be known beyond your community. We want you to be a destination shop. So we put this 3-part series together. It is an encore presentation, but it's so valuable. Everything is still valuable in this episode. I hope you listen to it and jump into my DMs over on social media and Instagram, and let me know what you think of this. Let me know if you're going to join me inside the 6-week Sales Accelerator. I would be so happy if you would. And let me know how you're doing. As you're listening to this, I am currently in New Zealand, teaching workshops in New Zealand, visiting my daughter. I'm doing a little bit of traveling, but I am wanting to chat with you on Instagram. So jump into Instagram and let me know how you're doing with your marketing and let me know what you think of this series. Okay, my friends, let's jump into the episode and start building your shop's reputation and get visible. Let's become better known. Hope to see you at the 6-week Sales Accelerator on April 24th. See you soon. Well, hey there, friends, and welcome back to the Creative Shop Talk podcast. I'm your host, Wendy Batten, and we're about to start a new series, a marketing series, which many of you have been asking for quite some time. And we are going to talk about how to be found, how you can stop hiding. I'm going to tell you right now what I see happening so many times. I see so many fabulous shops doing so well and they're so popular and, with their community, with their immediate community. But they know, and I know, that there's a whole bunch of people in their community that should be or could be or want to be shopping in their shop. And you are probably nodding your head right now saying, yes, there's all these people that I want to invite into my shop. And I know there's more people in my community that should know about me or could know about me and beyond, like far reaching. Every single week, most of us as a retailer, when I was in my retail shop, and when I own my coffee shop, and when I talk to my retailers all the time, I hear a lady came in the other day and she lives just down the road and she had no idea we were here. Hands up, that's probably you. So how do we get past this frustration of being found and being known? And part of that is going to be for us to stop hiding, right? We have to stop hiding. So I'm going to share with you an entire podcast series dedicated just to being found and becoming known. I don't want you to be the best kept secret in your town. I want you to be the most exciting thing happening in your town. So stay tuned, grab a pen, get your earbuds in. Let's jump into this podcast series and let's get you found. Running a retail business doesn't have to be so hard. Welcome to the Creative Shop Talk podcast, the go-to podcast for creative shop owners, studio owners, and independent retailers. I'm your host, Wendy Batten, retail business coach and mentor. Each week, I'll share simple, proven business strategies, inspiring stories from fellow retailers, and advice from industry experts. Together, we're going to work to find the success you want from your retail business with more profits in your till and a little more joy in your life. Okay, welcome to this podcast series. So I'm going to do a 3-part series, and we're going to just focus on what I call the attract strategy and audience building, I guess, becoming known in our community. And it's such an important part of the marketing ecosystem, the funnel, if you will, and all of the things. And if you've been a listener for some time, you've heard me talk about the 5-part framework or the sales strategy funnel that we talk about quite a bit. And that includes it always includes understanding the top of the funnel is audience building and having as many people know about you as possible, even if they're not your ideal client or shopper or whatever. Having everybody in the community talking about you or referring to you or mentioning you is important. People have to know you exist in this world, right? So that's part of the funnel. And then we do that through attract strategies. And that's what I teach inside my Retailer's Inner Circle. I also teach that in depth in a 6-week Sales Accelerator program. We have another Sales Accelerator program starting in April. And it is step-by-step, 6 weeks. It's one of my most favorite things to teach is this Sales and Marketing Accelerator program. 6 weeks, 6 Wednesdays, me and a small group of people working on their marketing. So we have that available. Again, as I said, we teach this inside the Inner Circle. So if you're an Inner Circle member, you can go and find the Foot Traffic Made Simple marketing module, and that will help you work through this, but we're going to go a little into detail. And we also have an on-demand. I have an on-demand. If you don't want to join the program or become a member of the inner circle, you don't have time or you don't want to spend detailed time on your marketing, you just want to kind of get the overview and the quick version, that would be an on-demand foot traffic made simple on-demand workshop. So that's available to you as well if you'd like that. But we cover all of the components of what we call the funnel and the ecosystem of marketing. And that is understanding that we need new customers. Then that's what we're going to talk about in this series. Then how to engage them, how to nurture them, how to serve them and what to serve them and when to serve them and all of those things. And the last part is how to wow and delight to get them to come back again and again, which is kind of part of the attract strategy, but we'll leave that for another series. So in this series, in this podcast series, what I'm going to be helping you understand, maybe I want to really ingrain, is that we have to think bigger and different than we are regularly, than we normally do. And that's because we, for the most part, maybe you're doing all of this properly, but for the most part, when we think of our business, we think people are paying attention. We know that people love us because we have customers coming in and shopping with us, and we know we have good products and we know we have good service, and our business should run really well because of that, right? The word of mouth and all of that goodness, right? But there's more. We have to think differently. We have to flip the script on how we think about our business, because all those things are true, and we have to let more people know about us. We have to be found. We have to stop hiding, whether, you think maybe you are not hiding, and this series may actually help you check the boxes. Nope, doing that. Nope, doing that. So my intention for this series is really for you to put a strategy around being found. A strategy does not mean, and this is where I see a lot of people wasting time, and I hate saying that, but we've all been guilty of this. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram all the time. I'm totally seen. People know who I am. They see me. But having no strategy around that, those are tools, not strategy. The strategy is what do I want to achieve? So what do I want to achieve? So what we want to achieve is becoming better known in different places. And I'll go into detail around that. And who do we want to be known by? The tools we'll use around that are going to be a variety of types of tools. We're going to use social media as a tool, but with intention. And what I think most of us do, or most retailers do, is we're so busy, right? We're so busy, and it's just, there's a lot on our plate, and we know we have to be on social media, so we're just social mediaing ourselves. So there's other strategy that we're going to put in place. How are we being found? And the first way to get out of that frustration, throwing spaghetti marketing at the wall, like, and just random acts of marketing, is to understand who we are marketing to. So a quick exercise for you right now, a quick exercise is to understand where and who we are trying to attract. So who else needs to know about you? Magic question, right? Who else needs to know that you exist and your shop exists and it's so wonderful, and they need to come and shop with you in your shop, and they need to experience this, because once they come in, I'm going to take care of them, right? We're going to work them through the rest of that funnel, but we have to get their attention first. So who needs to know you? Who are your ideal customers? Who else? What are they doing? Where are they? That's the other part of this. Where are they coming in from? What other communities could you be drawing customers in from? I know that as you're listening to this, you're thinking, yeah, that's right. People from an hour away come in. People from 3 hours away come in. And if you're like me, that was always super flattering when people would tell me, oh my gosh, we just drove 3 hours to come here. Like, it's always so exciting when people would tell me that. I mean, I'm excited when people come 20 minutes away, but still, you know what I mean, as far as how far are we drawing people in? And that's really important to identify. How far away are we drawing these people in? Because that's going to feed into some of the other strategies I'm going to be sharing with you over the next couple of podcast series as well, or podcast episodes as well. So how do we know? We speak to them, we have conversations, we have some of those unscalable conversations. You can't automate those things, but you can put a system in place so that you and your team are asking people, where are you coming in from if it's the first time? And we're documenting that. They're coming in from this town and that town and this town and that town. And we're really sort of paying attention to the outer limits, like how far are they coming and what towns are they coming from. And also, side note, we also love to ask them, where else are you shopping? Where else have you been, or what else are you doing while you're in town? And this will help with your attract strategy as well, too, I promise. But also you can look at your loyalty program. You can look at addresses on your loyalty program and sort of start gathering information that way. You can say, wow, we have a really loyal clientele, or a lot of people coming in from wherever. And this is going to help you with your marketing strategy, like your marketing plans and where we're going to market to, or who we're going to market to. And we can also look at, just different, mostly conversations. So unscalable conversations, loyalty programs, and sometimes depending on your email program, if you are gathering addresses too. Most of us don't gather addresses on our email program. Most of us, unless you have a birthday club or something along that lines. But if you have addresses on your email list, then of course we would look at that as well too. And, just getting a feel for where people are coming in from, you already probably have a feel. This is, you're probably already in your mind, but making notes and taking intentional steps towards identifying exactly where are we going to be focusing our marketing, because it can play into our energy. We only have so much energy, y'all. We only have so much time, money, energy to spend and to use up for marketing, right? So we want to make sure we're doing it with intention. So this is part of our sort of gathering of information, and also really identifying our ideal clients. Like, think of the good clients, the clients that you love, not the ones that you don't love. So we want to be making sure that our brand is speaking to them. We want to make sure that our brand is attracting them. We want to make sure that we speak their lingo. We want to make sure that our brand is on point for us, but also for that client. So we want to really make sure we're not just talking to everybody. We want to make sure that we're really niching down and speaking to the client that is the best fit for our retail business. And that can be broad. It can be, there can be lots of nuances there, but I really want to make sure you have a clear vision of your brand and who it's for. That's really important as well. One of the other things, when we talk about strategy around being found and not being the best kept secret, we have to think about, or some people think about, I should say, some people jump immediately to, I'm just going to pay for some advertising. And so and that's actually part of the reason that this podcast series is coming out. I have several clients that I work with that immediately want to jump to paid advertising. And we're like, whoa. Let's do a marketing audit first and see what's the funnel look like? How are we going to attract? Who are we going to attract? And they usually have that. They know who they want to attract and where, but they haven't tried these other things first. So I want to just throw back to a past episode to grab that out of the vault and remind you that it's there. It's episode number 96. And it's what to do before you pay for ads. It's a very unique title. And it's actually a little bit misleading as well, too. It's not just about what to do before you pay for advertising. It's also about some things that we want to make sure that we're doing before we spend any energy, not even just paid ads. We want to make sure our energy, we don't waste time if we don't have these things in place. So very quickly, those are owned marketing. So understanding your own marketing. And this is what I'm going to focus on today as well, too. Really making sure that everything that's forward facing, everything that's in the wild, if you will, everything that you have control of, that people will find. And we've talked about this a few times on the podcast in the last few months about forward-facing assets and making sure that your brand is just so bingeable. I always say bingeable. Like, you want to be like a Netflix binge series. When people find you, I want them to find you. They Google you, or they find you here, and then what do? First thing you do, check the Facebook or the Instagram or the website, and everything needs to speak to them. That ideal client we talked about earlier, we want to make sure that it speaks to them. We want to make sure it's all on brand. We want to make sure that it is feeling like the vibe, and that you are the vibe. What do they say? Your vibe attracts your tribe. Well, there's no truer way than in your forward-facing assets. On a note on this, if you are an Inner Circle member, you can go and grab the checklist. We have a checklist for forward-facing assets. We also have a specific one just for your website to make sure it's speaking with all of the things that, the checklist is there of all the things we want to look for on our websites. A lot of us, we don't want to look generic. We don't want to just look like, maybe a Shopify website. We don't want to look like, in a Shopify website that's just bumma things, because that's not what you're about, right? We want to make sure that it really speaks to what's happening inside your store. It speaks to the way they're going to feel when they walk in your store. It speaks to how they're going to be treated. It speaks to, all the things that you're working so hard to create inside your business. And yet this one-dimensional, flat kind of stuff is happening in the wild. And I say that not for everybody, but when I do shop audits, I do marketing shop audits. That's what I'm trying to say. For clients, sometimes it's like, this is not who you are. Yeah, I know, but I haven't updated it yet. So we really want to make sure that our owned marketing and our forward-facing assets are all up to date. So that's your social media, your website, your Google, everything needs to be updated. Well, hey there, my friend. I hope you are enjoying this podcast series on being found, being known, and hopefully you will stop hiding because you have a lot to share. I also wanted to share with you at this time, especially if you're a brick and mortar retailer, really looking to level up a little bit on your marketing game without wasting any time, energy, or money, because we just don't have a lot of that to spare these days, right? I want to just remind you that there are 3 different opportunities for you to get the support you need around your marketing. There's no reason not to be able to do this. We've made it super affordable with our 1-hour on-demand workshop. It's called Foot Traffic Made Simple. It is packed with all the basics that you need to kickstart your marketing efforts so that you have all of the areas of the funnel filled, so you can consider what to put in all of those areas for your own feel-good marketing strategy. It's not about what everybody else is doing. It's about filling those parts of the strategy, or putting strategy in place to fill all those parts of the funnel your way so that everybody can find your beautiful shop. We also have a large workshop inside the Retailer's Inner Circle. So if you're looking for a little more support, you're going to want to join us inside the Retailer's Inner Circle. You can grab the workshop called Foot Traffic Made Simple. We have the workshop, we have supporting documents, we have promotional ideas. We also have in that group the opportunity for you to ask me anything inside that group during our monthly roundtables or in weekly posts. So if you're looking for help and you want a fabulous community, you can join us inside the Retailer's Inner Circle. And I should mention, it's not really about me and how I help you, it's about the community. They have all tried these ideas and they have implemented the foot traffic strategy. So they have information to offer and support to give. So I give the advice or the lessons and will help answer any of your questions. The community inside will help support you and with idea generation. We also have one of my favorite things to do is our small group 6-week Sales and Marketing Accelerator program. This is a favorite of mine. It's kicking off in April and it has proven and actionable steps. It's a small group of really dedicated retailers. And if that's you and you're interested in really just having me walk alongside you with a small group of people, let's get together. Join me for 6 weeks starting in April, and we will together build your marketing strategy. This has been a very powerful program. That's why I'm repeating it again this spring. Last year we did it twice. We've had retailers take it both times with great success, and they see such momentum that they're joining us again. I've already been told, like, when are you doing it? And they're already lining up to join us. It is a limited seating capacity. So if that's something that's of interest to you, please make sure you join us. That's called the Sales Accelerator program. It starts in April. I hope you will join us, and I hope you will consider putting into place a full marketing strategy for you and your beautiful business. If any of these programs are of interest to you, check them all out at wendybatten.com. Let's make it happen. Okay, my friends, let's get back to the show. One of the missing pieces on this part of things sometimes is the front of shop. So we want to make sure your exterior, no matter the season, I know it's winter, but no matter the season, we want to make sure the front of shop is doing its job as well. It's a major attract strategy, or an attract component of people driving by. We need to give them a reason to choose you. Now more than ever, in this retail economy, in this world we live in that's so noisy and so busy, and the best shop doesn't win anymore. It has to be the best shop that gets people's attention. And when we get their attention and we're found by them and we stop hiding and we do all these things, they are going to choose you because you're doing so many beautiful things inside your shop. So I want you to make sure you're being super intentional about your forward-facing assets. Some of the other things, and again, I talk about this in detail more in episode 96. It's the social media, and making sure that we're talking and we're serving in a intentional way on our social media. We're not just fluff there. We want to make sure that we're not just selling. No one wants to be sold to, they want to be invited to. So if we think about that, even on your social media, we also, reputation matters. And a lot of my clients will say, oh, I have a great reputation in town, so we just rely on word of mouth. Well, okay, but that's not good enough nowadays. You have to be intentional about word of mouth. And again, these are things that we go into detail about and we work through during it's 6 weeks that we do the Sales and Marketing Accelerator program, which I feel like I get excited when I say the Sales Accelerator program because I'm so excited to always offer that. We did it twice last year. We are probably going to do it. We only have it on the books for April this year. So go check out the website at wendybatten.com and work with me, and it'll under the Work With Me tab. And if that's something that's of interest to you, that's open at this time, and we will be starting in April. If you are listening to this at a later date, you can check that page and it'll tell you when our next session is, or there'll be a wait list up if we are doing it again. So that will all be there. Anyhow, that was a complete side note, but that's what Wendy does. So we have our owned marketing, we have our social and sharing, we have our reputation and word of mouth. And then if all of those things are being done with intention and they're being done and we have the check marks going on with all of those things, then we look at paid opportunities or paid marketing. And these are the ways that we get in front of people. These are the ways we get new eyeballs. But again, it starts with making sure that we have all our forward-facing assets. And that's what I really wanted to concentrate on today, knowing who you're going to talk to and where they are, and making sure that when they find you, that they're so in love with what you have going on in your world and inside your shop. And we've all found websites and socials and all of the things that just, you're kind of like looking for everything and consuming them. And again, I keep saying like a Netflix binge series of content and information. And we want that yours to be just so exciting that they can't help but say, I got to get in that shop. I got to choose this shop. I choose this shop. So it's really, really important that we also aren't vague in any of these things. We want to make sure that we're super clear on who we serve and what we do. And that's my 2 cents, I guess, on that, or my more than 2 cents. But, the other thing I wanted to mention as we're talking about all of these track strategies, audience building, all of this, when we look at how we do this, when we look at how we put this all together, this is key. And this is why this is the first part of this series. This is why I really wanted to talk about this today. I wanted to make sure that you understand how important it is to know who you're talking about. Again, just to recap your action steps, I guess, if you will, today, is before you waste any more time of your or energy or money or spend any kind of brain power, any kind of brain power at all on random marketing, make sure that you have put strategy in front of it. And strategy means knowing exactly what your intentions are, like who exactly are we going to speak to, where exactly are they, and what do we need to say to them to become bingeable? That is the first very important step. That is so important to understand, and understanding that you're making sure your brand. So fix that and then change or check your assets, all of your forward-facing assets. It does not take a long time. You don't have to go and get a whole new website. This is not what I'm talking about here. When we say checking your forward-facing assets on your website, literally where people land, what do they see when they first land? Don't worry about having it perfect. Just make sure that it speaks to your brand. Make sure that it's not a mistake that I see a lot. Oh, I guess we're going to reference other podcasts. I've talked about this, but make sure when I land on it, I'm not confused because it's the brands you sell. It should never be the brands you sell. It can say we sell blah, 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 but your brand is the one that I want to see when I land. Where are you located? What's your city? There's so many things that we want to make sure that we are just being so obvious about our brand on everything. And so again, bingeable. So there you are. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find out what you want to achieve. That's your strategy. The second thing you're going to do is you are going to find out where and who needs to know you. Where are they and who needs to know you so that we can work on the how. That's the strategy, right? And the third thing is we're going to check all our assets. So 3 simple things for you to do this week. Next week, we are going to be continuing the series. We'll have part 2 of the series, and we are going to specifically talk about how to get found. So how can people search you and how can people find you? And I'm going to give you some strategy around that and some tools that you can use, the how or the what, and then the how. And I also have a gift for you. If you're interested, you can check over on my website at wendybatten.com. Check the podcast notes and we will have a gift set up for you that will give you some ideas of attract strategies or attract tools, some ways that you can think about getting new eyeballs. And we call this new eyeballs in my world when we talk about it. So that will be a free gift for you on my page under the podcast notes. So it's wendybatten.com/podcast. It will bring you up to the podcast page. So you can grab that free gift. I would love for you to have that. I would also love for you to not miss next week's series. So you can subscribe. It's an easy to subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast. You can subscribe to the podcast so you'll be able to get information. We come out every Monday morning. And I would also love it if you would share. It would be so helpful to me and to this podcast and to your fellow retailers if you'd share this podcast episode and any aha moments you have from this. It always makes me feel like people are listening. If I'm being honest, I see the downloads, but it's always nice to know actual feedback and how this is helping you, how the podcast is helping you and serving you. I love getting your emails. I love getting your DMs in my Instagram. So let me know. I'm a chatty person, as you can tell. I love seeing how you are using the podcast to help you create a better, more beautiful business. And again, we'll be back next week. Part number 2, we are going to be talking about how to get, specifically how to get found in easier ways. So I hope you'll join us. We'll see you next week. Have a fantastic day, rest of the day, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, friends. Well, that's it for this week's episode of the Creative Shop Talk podcast. I'm so glad that you were here to join us this week, and I hope you found value in what we're sharing here. I want to remind you that our website has all of the show notes. You can find it at wendybatten.com/podcast podcast. Everything that you need to hear about today's podcast is there. Also an opportunity if you need to reach out to me. If I can support you in any way whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. So thanks for joining us. Please leave a review, subscribe if you can, and never miss an episode. We hope to see you back here again next week. Thanks, my friend. Have a great week.